Emmanuel's story began in the heart of Abeokuta, where the sun rose quietly over rows of rust-colored rooftops and the scent of wood smoke drifted through narrow streets. His mother, Mama Grace, sold roasted plantain by the roadside. Her hands were always blackened with charcoal, but her heart was clean and hopeful. She had only one son, and after her husband died in a motor accident when Emmanuel was 8, she made him her reason for breathing. Emmanuel grew up hearing her say, "My son, now education go lift you. You hear me? Education." She would save 10 naira coins in a small tomato tin, always whispering prayers as she dropped each one inside. He was brilliant, the kind of boy who fixed neighbors' radios, who read old newspapers aloud like he was born to teach. In school, his teachers called him professor. But brilliance in Nigeria does not always translate to opportunity. When Emmanuel finished secondary school, there was no money for university. The day the admission letter came, Mama Grace cried, not because her son wasn't good enough, but because poverty stood between him and his dream. She tried everything, borrowed from her women's meeting, begged her church members for help, even thought about selling her small plot of land. But help never came. At first, Emmanuel accepted his fate. He worked with a local welder, saving small money. But as months turned to years, frustration began to eat at him. His friends who couldn't even spell their names properly were now living large, fine phones, new bikes, fresh clothes. When he asked them how, they laughed and said, "Guy, you still day suffer. This life no balance. If you no wise, you go die poor." That's how temptation started, not as thunder, but as whisper. One of them, Kola, came to visit him one hot afternoon, wearing gold chains and designer slippers. "Emmy boy," he said with a grin, "you day here day work under sun, we day cash out online. Just small runs. No be robbery. Na oyinbo money." Emmanuel frowned. "You mean Yahoo?" Kola laughed. "Brothers, na survival. Everybody day hustle. You too sharp for this life today waste for workshop. You fit handle system well, I know." That night, Emmanuel couldn't sleep. He thought about his mother sweating by the fire, her eyes growing weaker. He thought about his dream of university, of changing their story. The voice of reason said, "Don't do it." The voice of hunger said, "Try small." Hunger won. Within a week, Kola took him to a small flat in Sango where 4 boys worked on laptops all night. They taught him tricks, phrases, and how to sound like a foreigner online. It felt strange at first, but when his first client sent him $500, the thrill erased his guilt. He bought new clothes. He started giving his mother money, plenty of it. Mama Grace was too happy to ask questions. She only said, "My son, God don butter our bread." And Emmanuel smiled, but deep inside, something was shifting. He moved to Lagos soon after, saying he found better work. The city swallowed him, noise, lights, girls, luxury. The money kept coming, and with it came arrogance. He stopped praying. He stopped calling his mother regularly. But at the back of his mind, he always felt a shadow following him, something unseen, waiting. Then one day, Kola said, "My guy, you day dull yourself. You think this Yahoo na ordinary? People day fortify. If you no jazz up, your runs fit dry any time." Emmanuel laughed it off at first. But when his luck slowed, when clients stopped replying, he began to panic. That's when he met Baba Ibo, a herbalist from Ijebu who promised strong connection. The man's shrine smelled of burnt herbs and wet earth. "Young man," Baba Ibo said, staring into a pot of fire, "your destiny get light. But light way too bright day attract shadow. You ready to pay small price?" Emmanuel nodded. "Anything, Baba." The ritual was simple: sacrifice a white goat, bathe with blood, bury a charm near his mother's house. "The woman must not know," Baba said. "She be your root. When root strong, leaf go flourish." He did everything as told. Within days, money poured in again like floodwater. Mama Grace was happier than ever. She moved into a better house her son rented. She wore new clothes, even bought a small fridge. When people asked, she said proudly, "Na my son, Emmanuel. God bless him." She never asked where the money came from. But every night, Emmanuel's dreams grew darker. He saw blood in mirrors, heard his mother calling his name through fire. Sometimes he woke up screaming. Baba Ibo told him not to worry. "Dreams be like smoke," he said. "Ego pass." Months later, Emmanuel visited home for the first time in 2 years. His mother ran to him with tears in her eyes. "My son. You don change oh. See as God bless you." He hugged her, but something felt wrong. When she held his hands, they were cold. When she looked into his eyes, she saw someone else. That night, as she prayed before bed, her lamp flickered and went out. The next morning, Mama Grace collapsed while frying plantain. At the hospital, doctors said her blood pressure was fine, her heart was fine, everything was fine. Yet she could not speak. Her eyes were open but empty. Emmanuel rushed back from Lagos. When he saw her lying motionless, something inside him cracked. He went straight to Baba Ibo. "Baba, help me. My mama dey die." The old man didn't look surprised. "I tell you, sacrifice go come. Every power get price. Your mother be your source. For you to continue, she must go." Emmanuel shouted, "Never. I know fit kill my mama." The herbalist's eyes grew cold. Then prepared to lose everything. That night, Emmanuel's car crashed on 3rd Mainland Bridge, but he survived with minor injuries. His money vanished, accounts wiped clean. His friends turned against him. The landlord locked his flat. Everywhere he turned, doors closed. When he returned to the hospital, Mama Grace was gone. She died at dawn. Emmanuel screamed until his voice broke. At her burial, he fell to the ground, clutching the soil and begging for forgiveness. The villagers whispered that madness had caught him. He wandered the streets for days, barefoot, muttering to himself. The city that once celebrated him now pitied him. He slept under bridges, his once fine clothes now rags. Sometimes he saw his mother in his dreams, calling him to light. One rainy evening, as he sat by a church fence, trembling from cold, a pastor noticed him. The man's name was Pastor Daniel, a young cleric who had lost his own brother to fraud and ritual money. He recognized the look in Emmanuel's eyes, a soul trapped between guilt and grief. "Son," he said gently, "you've been running. But grace runs faster." At first, Emmanuel laughed like a madman. But the pastor didn't leave him. Day after day, he brought him food, prayed beside him, spoke softly. Weeks passed. One morning, Emmanuel knelt and wept. "I killed my mother with my greed," he cried. "Can God ever forgive me?" The pastor placed a hand on his shoulder. "If he couldn't forgive, I wouldn't be here." From that day, healing began, slow, painful, but real.